Okay. Hello, 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 everybody. Welcome to rainy, dreary Saturday in Connecticut 6B. How are you all doing? Hello, Sissy, Joanne Stevens. Thanks for coming. And welcome, welcome, welcome. PIA with your onion tops. I sent you my Renaissance grandma, Mike. Thanks for coming, everybody. And I appreciate you hitting the like button. We see you. Oh, you see me and hear me? Oh, thank you. Thank you. So, I've had a crazy, crazy day, couple of days, weekend. But first, I'd like to thank those of you who are in the bushes, the moderators, subscribers, channel members, and all of you who watch the video, no, the ads and whatnot. It really helps the channel to grow and helps me reach out to others and new people become aware of the format that I use and what we do on the channel. So, I don't know, how is the weather where you guys are? Let me know in the chat. Where are you and how is the weather? Oh, Maria Graham. Bless your heart, Maria. You are too sweet, sis. Maria Graham says, look at that beautiful hair. And I was just in there before. Oh, you heard me say Auntie Joanne. And you want to get up. Your beard isn't even brushed. A man with a beard, you can't have it raggedy. You can't have food in it. You can't have it like sticking all up, little kissies in it. And Hershey comes over here and say hi to Auntie Joanne. Mike says it's not bad. It's 42. And oh yeah, Maria, I was telling you about my hair. I was just trying to moisturize it and do something with it because after the live tonight, I'm going to wash it, shampoo it, condition it, and drive down to mom's house tomorrow and spend the day. And my granddaughter does my hair. She works full time, but she braids professionally, has a clientele, and I'm the one person whose locks she does. Maria Graham says 8B, 80 degrees today. Oh my goodness. PIA says 48 and cloudy. That's about what it is here. It's probably about in the 50s. It's not too cold, but it's really, really drizzly outside. So let me let you say hi, Mr. Hershey, because I'm going to have my hands full and I'm going to sit back and do some sewing on my lap today, some hand sewing. Hand sewing. That's why I have my thimble. This is not the hand. This is not the way you wear a thimble. This is how you use a thimble in the middle finger. But at my age, I have arthritis and bending it that tight is uncomfortable. So I put it on here. This is one of my favorite ones. It's made of brass. I've had this one for I think I have two of them for about 25 years. I have lots of thimbles. They used to collect thimbles back in the day. You used to see the ladies who sewed, and they would have a little rack, and sometimes they would have spoons on them, that you collect when you travel and you go to the rest stops, those little silver spoons. And then sometimes they would have thimbles on them. So I have a few collectible thimbles, but this one I keep in that little red pouch that I take everywhere with me. And yeah. Okay, so Auntie Joanna saying hello, Mr. Hershey. I started packing his suitcase too for our I usually I'm looking to see if my other earring is on. I still wear a mask when I go out in public, you guys. I have respiratory issues, but snatching it off and on, I have lost so many earrings over the last 3 years. Some of them were my good earrings. Did I say hello, Juanita Campbell? How you doing over there in North Carolina? And not too far from my old stomping grounds. So I cleaned my screen today. I had somebody in one of the phone places, T-Mobile or something, tell me to clean my cell phone, to clean the screen, not to use alcohol or blah 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 blah. She told me to. Katie Greenland Quilter says hello. You all hit that two thumbs up button. Thank you for coming, Katie, and welcome, welcome, welcome. So they said to clean the screen with the hand sanitizer and a paper towel. I personally thought the paper towel would be a little bit rough, but it works. I don't do it very often. So I noticed when I was cooking, it looked a little blurry, but the chandelier in the kitchen above the butcher block probably needs to be cleaned. So, yes, what we're going to do today and what the subject is. Well, let me tell you what I've been busy doing. And since Mike is in here, you guys, if you'd like to drop your link, put exclamation mark G. Why isn't that up there? Oh, I think I have to do this. I'm not pushing too many buttons, Mike. Well, it usually has GQUAT in the corner. I don't know why it's not doing it today, but it's okay. Exclamation mark GQUAT. Hola, hermana. We finally made a connection. Hand sanitizer is just alcohol suspended in gel. I know, Mike. I used to make my own, and then I just decided to put alcohol in a spray bottle and keep it by the door. It dries faster. You use you use hand sanitizer on your car window PIA. Oh, to keep it from. Let me do this. Okay, to connect with each other. Exclamation mark GQUAT. So PIA says she puts hand sanitizer on her car windows. That probably keeps them from fogging up. Clear, clear, clear. I actually need to take my car. I have a vehicle. I don't drive very often. I drive once in a while. I'll be going to my mom's house tomorrow, and I always have a lot of stuff. So, what did I do? Yesterday, I went to my eight and I went to the a giant super Walmart on about 10 miles from here in a town called Milford, Connecticut, and PIA is dropping her link, and we she walked around. I rode around and rode around and rode around and rode around. When I'm going shopping, I won't drink my coffee in the morning. I won't do anything. I don't want to have to use a public restroom. One day, Olga and I went into a restroom, and in the drugstore, I was waiting to get a pneumonia vaccine and a tetanus shot. She came back. She said, "Oh my goodness, that place was filthy." I'm like, "See, that's why I don't drink anything." When we were little and we used to travel, Daddy would tell all of us to go to the bathroom before we hit the road because there were a limited amount of stops. and he would put his pedal to the metal, and away we would go. He worked 2, 3 jobs all of his life, all of our lives. And stop, Hershey. Now he's pawing the ground like a horse over there, and there's nothing over there. And he would go to his night job, and then when he got off that morning, we would be ready. Mommy would have chicken fried, snacks in the car. We'd load up 6 kids and my maternal grandmother, and away we would go. I know that sounds like a car full, and it probably was, but we were young then, and not that big. And there would be like 3 in the front seat, and maybe one of the kids on somebody's lap, and then the rest of us would be hanging out on the back seat, bugging each other and getting on each other's nerves. So yeah, PIA, congratulations, Katie. PIA just became a member and I'm a friend, excuse me, a friend to your channel. Yay. So we are making connections here. And I was going to tell you guys that this really works because I've been getting like, excuse me, through the various means, I've been getting like new people, maybe one a week, not a lot. I don't do a lot. I don't want a big channel. I like having a small channel and being cozy with you guys. I come on every Thursday for the last 2 years at 4 p.m. and every Saturday for the last 2 years at 6 p.m. So I had to check to make sure this is a tissue, not a paper towel. One day I was in the kitchen and I did something. My eye waters a lot. The greasy brown bags of fried chicken. No, I don't know what they were in. I don't even remember if they were bags. But we had it. We had it. We would eat out once in a while, and Daddy would say, "You guys don't know how to act. I'm not taking you in any restaurants." Oh, PIA says she's a very beginner quilter. Well, of course, most of you guys know I have been quilting for over 25 years, cook sewing for over 70 years, every type of hand skill that there is. That's why I come on to share. And that's what I'm going to show you guys this evening. This evening, Auntie Joanne, hey, I bring it every day, Kelly. Thanks for coming and welcome. Auntie Joanne, as well, has been doing all the hand sewing, all of the traditional, they call them heritage arts. And I hope to bring you guys along and hope you join other channels to see how others do it. I used to be a quilt show judge and a long arm judge and instructor when I was in North Carolina. Now I don't do a lot, but I do the things that make me happy. I don't want to have to work for a living at my age. But this weekend, you guys, I felt like I was working. They, my sister Joanne Stevens and I are members of Quilt Africa Fabrics, and we buy some of the most fabulous fabrics you've ever seen in the world. Now, it makes a difference where you get them. Like they say, Egyptian cotton. Well, where is Egypt? Egypt is in Africa. Oh, some of the best cottons are over there, and the long grain, whatever it is, cottons. And not only is it the weight of the fabric is different, but the fabric is dyed, and most of them use traditional dyes, not the chemicals that are used in the dyes now. And they're done the old fashioned traditional way. I like the Indonesian batiks as well. They are extra dense, extra clarity in the color, and you can feel it. Yankee Sister was over here one day, and we had some different fabrics. We had fabrics. Hershey, stop, please. We had some fabrics that we bought online, from some of the reputable places. And then the tariffs are going to affect them. They are already expensive, Katie, and but it is what it is. Not to mention, not to mention, excuse me, you guys, I have to speak to someone. Not to mention, but some of the fabrics that I buy now are $25 a yard. Oh, Yankee sister, mi hermana. She says she tiene plantas para mí. You haven't seen any bears up in your neck of the woods, have you? I think, I don't know if some of you saw my short. My aide lives not too far from here, within two within 2 miles of me, on the street that I used to live on up further, and there was a bear in her backyard. She was out there messing around, and she had some cilantro. We use a lot of cilantro and parsley around here, and her son was getting in the car to go to work, and this giant black bear, and he didn't look like he had just awakened from hibernation. He was a big fat. Oh, sure, Kelly. I have fabrics in here that are $25 a yard. I will show you some of the fabric. Oh, plus shipping. Now, the fabrics that I get from Quilt Africa Fabrics are actually sent directly from her over there. She's a small vendor. PIA says that she's asking if Yankee Sister is talking to her. If you lived close enough, she would bring you some. She would bring you some. We share stuff, and the flowers that she brought me about, I want to say, at least 3 4 weeks ago are still there. Yankee Sister says no wild bears, just wild turkeys and the groundhog. Let me tell you, some of the neighbors around here one year in the community garden put a trap out to get the groundhog. I have a photo of him in this cage. Well, some of the people were mad that we trapped him, but they didn't kill it or anything. They took him for a ride about 15 miles away to another town and dropped him off. And he must have left his wife and kids here, though, because we've been getting a steady hit. Chipmunks, groundhogs, deer. A deer almost ran into me. There's a park on the other side of the community garden, and I walk Hershey there every day. And guess what? PIA said they would get too damaged. Oh, the plants. Yeah, I had another gardener send me some rosemary twice, but it was very cold. By the way, you guys, rosemary doesn't like to freeze. Don't ship it under 32 degrees. Is there an online website for shipping from Africa to anywhere in the world? I don't know, Katie. I you can go on their site, Quilt Africa Fabrics, and she can tell you about theirs. It's an international freight company, one of the big ones like DHS or something like that. And she has fabulous fabrics. Yankee Sister sweet talked me out of some of the fabrics that I had. I had one piece that was a 6 yard piece. I bought the whole thing because I didn't want anybody to have any of it. Well, Yankee Sister came over here, sweet talking me. Humans are encroaching too much on the wildlife areas. That's why they're coming into areas people live in. Yes, my mother lives on a street that's a dead end street. They've had that house for 55 years, and it's in the city. It's moderately city, but there are coyotes going up and down the street. Some in the backyard. Yankee Sister said she put ammonia in some cloth and threw it in the hole. He left. You don't know how long now. You got close to the hole. There's a there's a big compost, two big compost bins, like the kind of the back of an 18 wheeler, but they're wood, and you can put sticks and leaves and stuff in it. I do my own composting. Yankee's sister shreds her leaves and bags them. I just bag them and put water in them and they break down. I have a couple I need to do because I got a couple of the tin raised beds and they sunk over the winter. And I've got to top it off and put some more. Mike says all the suburban animals are now coming to the city. Exactly. Oh, when we had the property in North Carolina, we never cut the trees and it was virgin forest. Our property was virgin forest, our 4 acres, but the people around us had clear cut theirs and sold the wood off of it. We had like walnut trees and oak trees. We took some down to build different houses and buildings. PIA says she has so many groundhogs there. Her backyard is tore up with tunnels. Oh, my dad, groundhogs. And what are those things, Sissy, that used to be in the ground in California? And we won't talk, but allegedly, a member of the family would put diesel fuel down there and drop a match and poof and get rid of them. Polar bears find their way sometimes in our town due to being stuck on ice. If they can't run them away, they get them dispatched, but they do get eaten when that happens. My grandfather used to hunt on his 460 something acres in Pennsylvania, and there were no forest rangers that come on private property to get rid of the wild animals that come in and attack things. Grandpap also had hunting dogs and he bred Siberian huskies. Come, Hershey, come. I don't know why you're acting a fool. Okay, so, oh, gophers, Sissy says. Gophers. Yes. But, oh, my mother was, hey, mother, I'm coming to your house tomorrow. And I have your oxtail stew soup in the freezer. I took it out to bring to you. And I went to a fruit indoor farm stand yesterday with Olga, and they had so much fruit from all over the world. I think that I don't know if they'll be able to stay open because they import theirs. Katie says every town has a licensed game warden to take care of them. Yeah, we had a game warden in North Carolina, and then sometime my husband liked target shooting. Him and my son. Mike's chaotic gardening saying, "Hey mom, hey Mona, I've been watching you all afternoon, Mona. Your hand sewing. I've got some hand sewing right here that I'm going to be doing." I said Mona would have had this finished by now. You and Lisa and Deb. I was in the bushes resting. Oh, because well, I'll finish telling you about the bears and stuff, but they ate the bears. They kept the skin, the fur, and made rugs and things. The deer, they would make things out of the fur for those too. My mom's grandmother was Native American in Pennsylvania, and yeah, they didn't throw anything away. Mommy was telling me the herbs and the bushes and all the plants that you grow as medicines, they, unless you had something terribly wrong, you didn't go to like the ER for every mosquito bite and whatnot. You took care of it at home, or there was some type of poultice or brew that you ate or drank to take care of it. And that's pretty much how we were raised. I'm pretty healthy. There are some things that I probably should go to the doctor for, but I just hate going. All they do is like make you sit in the hallway for 10 12 hours. do a few tests, charge your insurance company gazillions of dollars, and tell you to go home and whatever. Deborah Garrett, thanks for coming and welcome, welcome, welcome. So let's talk about some. Uh, excuse me. My apartment is above the laundry room, and of course I always have my air on, in here, and different people's soap, fabric softener, whatever. I can smell it. I'm allergic. I am allergic to everything for 5,000 year into its hunt, fish, use everything with respect to nature. That's how it should be. Thank you, Mike. He said, "Bless me, bless me, bless me." Excuse me. I might have to hold on 1 second. 1 second. Don't go. Okay. I just had to see if I had to blow my nose. No. It does sound kind of snuffly. Hey, Doretha Butterroll Boutique, thanks for coming and welcome, welcome, welcome. So, as you know, I've been quilting since forever. I can't remember if I told you, but we had to submit our things for a international challenge, and there were 4 categories of quilt that you could send in. I'm going to show you my quilt that I sent in. Maybe next week, my sister Joanne, she has turned hers in, will come up and show you hers. She's done some unique things that even I have never done on a quilt. Some of her own techniques that she's added. She's been sewing and embroidery and needlepoint all of her life as well. We did that. We didn't watch TV. We had chores to do, homework, and my grandmother and my mom taught us how to knit, crochet, do all of the hand arts that some of you do. Hershey, no, come, good boy. So the challenge is due tomorrow. I won't be available tomorrow, so I turned mine in today. Mike, the WIG grow off ended. When's the 4th? Ends today. No, yesterday was the 4th. It ended yesterday, so I had to do my little video for that. Everything died except for, and I don't even know if I planted it so late, my ginger, but the ginger grew this big. Hey, Katrina, thank you for coming and welcome, welcome, welcome. My ginger grew this much since March 5th, exactly 1 month. And my basil, it's only this big, but it was started under WIG. I have a few little things that are starting to sprout. Mike, my spicy spice, pumpkin spice peppers are starting to come up in the hydroponics. I'm not worried though, because I'm mostly growing herbs and spices and things like that, because my garden is a shady garden. It doesn't grow a lot of stuff, and all the other animals want to get it. I have a lot of rosemary. I regrow my onions, as does PIA. I have a lot of seeds. I will drop a lot of seeds, and I will put them outside while I'm in Arizona for a little over a month, and Olga will come and water for me. PIA. Oh, you sent me another package? PIA. I did a video with my not my lariat, with my neck hanging that you gave me and stuff. Pumpkin spice jalapeno peppers are awesome. I have 4 or 5 different types of peppers already dropped in the hydroponics. Of course, when mine get big enough that I can separate them. I'm greedy. I drop 3 or 4 in each of the pods, and then I separate them, put them in soil, drop some more, so I can put probably at least another set out there before I leave. You've never had those kind of jalapeno peppers? Oh, I make the best jalapeno poppers. I've got a video on that as well. So the WIG grow off ended yesterday for those of you who are into gardening. Those of you who are doing the herb challenge with Planter Garden, that is your update is due today. So I had to do that video because those were different plants included, but it was just a quickie. There's not that much to see in the beginning and doing that. Then I had to send in all of my paperwork for the challenge, the international, it's a modern quilt made with African fabrics. Oh, okay, PIA. I did it during my live. I did a whole section on yours when I did a mail haul. It was a couple of weeks ago. I will I will forward it to you. Your squash and corn are growing fast. Crafty corner, crafty. I can't say KKK with K, 4Ks with Katrina. Okay, so I'm going to show you my modern quilt, and I will read to you. I will read to you what I. Just a minute. Actually, I don't have it here, but the quilt front looks like. I will, and there is a fabric called schwa schwa. Mike says it's never too late to grow peppers. I agree with you, Mike. So here is, I've already submitted my photos, and kind of blends in with what I have on. I like animal print fabrics. So the top of this is a resemblance of an African hut. And if you look close, the roof is, the thatching is made of different wax dyed Ankara fabrics as well as schwa. Schwa is a fabric from South Africa that was patented when the Dutch owned the country. And some of these fabrics, like the little zebra stripes, you can actually see that was an imported fabric. You can see the zebra's eyes. The schwa, this is the schwa, and it was it's a patented fabric. And you know how you buy meat here in the United States? This fabric is stamped on the back. And in order, you love that, very ethnic, thank you. And if it's original fabric, I don't even know how much this would be a yard, even now, without the tariffs. And I want to show you up close the door. The door on this quilt is made of, and I didn't do it. It was fabric that I bought that was imported. And you can see the French knots with faux straw, and it's hand stitched. And you see the French knots, and you see the different patterns. And then I took, let me see. Oh, where is it? I took some metallic fabric that looked like tin, and I hand cut the star out to make it look like it was tin, like you decorate a tin roof. And then what's amazing about, and I quilted it on a machine, free motion quilted it, but this part here, all these, I'll put it as close as I can, a little bit at a time. All those are actually tiny, 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 tiny beads. Tiny beads and some type of wool or lamb fabric. And then I hand sewed a cowrie shell above it. Now, thanks, you guys. I actually did this on some of my lives. I just took the strips down and strip pieced the roof. And then this part over here, a lot of the African huts in the villages are off grid, and they cook inside the huts on this little round thing, little round stand on the floor. Not to be a bummer here, but I'm super concerned about your ability to make quilts could come to an end, which could affect the fabric. Well, you're not being a bummer. It's a real challenge, Katie. I would say hold on to every scrap that you have, every scrap that you have, and Katie has been kind of a newer quilter. I think maybe in the last 5 years. For me, I have a pretty extensive stash of small amounts of fabric because I had a 1,500 square foot studio before I downsized, and I used to buy fabric by the bolt. I had a long arm machine, and it would easily take 10 yards of fabric to do the backing on a California king size quilt. I would sell small amounts. I would buy some. Greenland Katie says my mini quilt is gorgeous. Thank you, Katie. I'm proud of it. And even though I didn't do any hand quilting in it, I'm not able to hold a needle a long time. I'm going to show you what I did on the back of here because I made a hanging sleeve for it. For those of you who don't know how to make a hanging sleeve, I will show you the back of this quilt. And this part, I found some fabric that it's a domestic fabric. It's actually for upholstery, but I cut mine 8.5 inches. And there's a way that you can connect it to the top when you're putting the binding on, but I don't like mine like that. I like mine down a little bit. So that means I have to hand sew it because when we do the quilt shows, when you do it very high, it's like putting a curtain rod through the middle of it, and sometimes it wrinkles at the top. You notice when you have draperies and curtains, there's always a little cuff at the top. There's no such thing as thrift shops in Greenland. Well, Katie, maybe you'll just have to use pants and shirts. Get back to the old way of buying shirts from the thrift stores. Mona did what? I buy no, I don't buy shirts anymore. I'm gifted shirts, and I get a lot of jeans gifted from family members and friends who know that I sew and I quilt. And I both buy small amounts of fabrics. I just got a great deal with Missouri Star Quilt Company, and they had premium cotton yardage, 1 yard for 1 yard for like $2. So I found about 18 colors. I know that I'm on a budget this year, but I found some purples that I would like to blend in with some of the other fabrics that I already have. You love the back of the quilt? Oh, yeah. So that's what I was going to tell you guys. So let's talk about labels for a minute. You buy your clothes from the USA because there's no store for people because of weight. Well, the town that I lived in North Carolina had 800 people, you guys. 800 people. And it was 12 miles away from my property. I lived in the county, the unincorporated county, so there weren't a lot of amenities. Like there was no trash pickup. There was a place that you could take your trash and have it disposed of, or like I had a pickup truck, some trailers, some other things. You had to take it. take it yourself. You buy clothes from the USA. So let's talk about labels for a while, you guys. Every quilt should have a label. And by the way, you guys, this is the back of my quilt, and this is the label. That little piece in the middle is a piece of machine embroidery. I do have an embroidery machine. It's a baby lock. And this is the Adinkra symbol for cooperation, which I think is meaningful because now the whole world needs to have a little bit more cooperation. This is a piece of African fabric shipped from Quilt Africa Fabrics. It came with a fat quarter bundle that I ordered. Now, this is what a normal label would look like that I would have put on here. And the name of this quilt, and this is what some of the things you put on a quilt. The name of the quilt, if there's any, who it was made for, if you're making it for some person. The size here in the US, we use inches. So, for example, this is not this quilt. A quilt will be 50 inches wide by 72 inches long. That's my average size because that's 6 feet tall. And the average man or cover up would be that big. Fiber artist, that would be me, Ellen Pankey. I am a fiber artist, aka master quilter. You don't understand how remote Greenland towns are. There just aren't that kind of thing. Um, so we're gonna have to do, Katie, some type of fundraiser where we get together and maybe send you a package if it comes to that. Mona says hello. Mona did what? Says hi, fellow crocheter. Um, I won't go into crochet. I crochet. I have a really nice crocheted Afghan over on the sofa over there. So we got to the artist, the date. I don't actually put the date on all of mine because sometimes people want to buy a new quilt. Sometimes people have an issue with it. So I put the place, the city, the state. Well, since I'm back in Connecticut, like Greenland Katie says, the it's such a small state. Somebody with no good intent. Well, you just don't want to. You want to do whatever is safe as possible. So the actual writing on the quilt, I'll show it to you. The name of this quilt is "The Village of My Familiar." Some of you remember the book, "The Temple of My Familiar." I was kind of making a play on that. It's an Afro modern art quilt, artist Ellen Penny Pankey, and I have the width on it. The size is important because if you're putting it in a quilt show, physically, you need to know how much wall space you're going to take up. And I put Connecticut, USA, May 2025. So that covers enough information. And what I did was print this out on a piece of fabric that you can iron freezer paper to the back of it and make it the size that it will fit in a printer, 8.5 inches by 11, or you can buy the fabric that's already imprinted with the stabilizer, which of course Auntie Ellen has some of that. So I just put this in a Word Microsoft Word document, printed it out, and you do have to heat set it. You do have to heat set it. So that's what I did on the back of here. So this little patch is actually pretty thick, but it doesn't matter. This is the back of a quilt, and it is my quilt. So going back to the hanging sleeve, I cut a piece of fabric 8.5 inches by whatever the width of the fabric I mean the width of the piece, and I turn it under a couple times and I stitch along the side. Hey Deb S, I was watching you guys. She's saying hi, Butterroll. She's coming in. They just came in off their live, and but I want you to notice something different that I do. I don't put my hanging sleeve with the seam anywhere that you can see it. I left this open so that I could show you. The seam I put in the middle of the back. And when I get ready to put a rod or something through there, it's in the middle of the seam. Hey Lisa, Awkward Quilter GA. I was watching y'all this afternoon, at least my eyes were. So this is the back of the quilt. This is an actual hand dyed brown fabric, and you can't see the texture, the quality of it being hand dyed, but it looked plain, so I thought I'd dress it up by putting a fancy label on the back. So that's what I will be hand sewing. I've got my needle threaded. I put my all of my all of my quilts that I'm going to show. I sew the binding on from the front, and then I put it in the back. And even with my vision issues, I put all these tiny little 1/4 inch stitches in the back, but it makes it look invisible so that you can't see them. And I'll tell you, quilt show judges look for that. They look and they don't mark you down. But if you're like, I'm a long arm quilt instructor, I judge the quilts, the long arm quilting. You can tell the quilts that are started by hand, that are hand guided. You can tell the quilts that are done with a computer. They're perfect. They are perfect. There's not an imperfection in there. But quilt judges give a few more an extra little point for the person who's hand guided. I used to teach how to quilt with computers and how to set them up, but my personal quilts, I hand guided them. And I just got a quilty, a grace frame, a cutie breeze that I will be using, and hopefully I will remember some of my hand guided skills. I have some books here, and there are ways that you learn different blocks, how to make different designs, like for 9 patches or whatever. I will probably mostly be doing a curly Q meandering, or you can do E's and L's, or circles and swirls, but you just get something simple and work on doing that. So before I put it down, these are a couple of, this is unbleached muslin that's cut probably 5 inches by 7 inches, and you iron freezer paper on it before you hand write on them with markers. Hand station would make you authentic. Thank you. And then some of the quilt shows you go to, you can find labels that are already like pre-started. But you see how tiny this one is? I like to put a lot of information on mine. And I noticed that some quilters, some of the quilt shows I go to, the art quilters, the first thing they do is they'll look at your quilt and it's gorgeous in the front. First thing they do is turn it over. Like people that do needlepoint and stuff, first thing they want to do is see your hand stitches, to see if they're crooked, to see if they're blah, blah, blah. To like this corner, the mitered corners. Here's one of the better ones. They want to look at your mitered corners. They want to see everything. They want to be, I got you on McCor. Oh, looking for that $2 yard fabric? Well, you join the channel, Missouri Star Quilt Company. Deb S just got some batiks by the pound. I went on there looking for that. and they said they didn't have any more of that. But I will be looking. I will make an exception. There is a quilt shop in Arizona that gets a lot of Indonesian batiks, and it's usually $25 a yard. And I'll set a budget, $400, $800, and that's all I'm going to spend. That's all I'm going to spend on vacation for fabrics. And somebody will come over and say, Psst. Now we go there to get my sister's featherweight, get a new foot, and then they have to rewire it and everything. She still has the original one for authenticity. But while we're sitting there waiting for the lady to wire this new modern foot for the featherweight, they said a batch of new batiks came in. Oh, I'm a batik addict. I am a batik addict. If I'm not buying African fabrics, authentic African fabrics, I'm buying batiks. And I do hand dye some fabric. You know, you might invest in some, like the Kona fabrics, the good Kona, and do some hand dyeing, have some fun yourself. You get text. Yes, Deb S. That's what I get. Deb S is saying, what am I doing? I'm trying to show it. Oh, no, Sam. The foot doesn't need to be wired. The hold on. Hold on. What happened is Auntie Joanne's featherweight is a 1943, and you were on a fabric diet for the next forever. Hubby said your new toy broke him. Yeah, it bees like that. Oh, you know what? Hold on one second, you guys. Let me see if I can find it. Mike, I'm learning how to negotiate without. Uh, oh, I didn't want to do that. Well, I was trying to find where I have. Uh, I give up. Okay, I give up. I give up. I was trying to show you guys the video with my former studio, but I'm touching other things and pulling other stuff up. I'm using my MacBook. It's actually on a stool, and I don't have a mouse, so it's kind of hard getting your finger on this little thin line and clicking on these different things I have saved over there. But excuse me, Hershey, stop. That Missouri Star, that $2 a yard, yes. So I accidentally bought, I think, 10, 15 different shades of purple because I like purple and I use a lot of it, and I can blend it in with a lot of my batiks. And some of them have a lot. Mona's lurking and listening. She says hello. That's what I do, you guys. I have to go back this afternoon and, and leave some messages. I was so tired of writing. Oh my goodness. This is a funny story. I probably shouldn't be telling it, Mother. They say if you say probably, then don't, but I am. So I was in Walmart and I said, not Victoria's Secret. And Olga said, where should I meet you? Mrs. Helen. I said, over there by the over there by the medicines. I wanted to get some Tylenol with the gel in it because I was totally out, which seldom happens, and I didn't want to go to Costco, although we drove right by Costco. So I get this bright idea because I'll be traveling. I hate when TSA goes through your stuff when you're going someplace, and I don't trust them. They're touching other people's stuff. So I said, I'll buy some underpants. Okay. So I went over there and I was looking for a pack of like 6 or 7 or something that are already sealed. And then I said, well, maybe they won't open them. They can see they're sealed. And so I'm going around the corner and there's all these racks sticking out. And I took out about 3 or 4 rows of the whole display. I took down. There were some other ladies over there trying to help me, and I couldn't move my writing cart because the cart, there were underwears underneath the cart, in back of it, in front. I just knocked. You know how there's stuff hanging and it all slides down. I had stuff everywhere. Lorraine T saying, hello, Mother Pankey. Everybody. Lorraine T, you like this quilt? Thank you. It's actually, this quilt is actually a, people tell me don't say a simple quilt. The concept is fairly simple because I follow a couple channels and I have family members who live in Tanzania. They don't live in any of these, none of them live in this type of a hut with, the mud and the straw that they mix and patch on the side, and then the straw. They have modern houses with modern bathrooms, and they collect rainwater, and they have wells now. But some of the other channels that I follow still live out there, with the dirt roads and everything. And this was my throwback on that. You can see where I machine quilted around these leaves. But isn't this amazing? I just wanted to show you guys the the beaded part, the tiny, tiny. These are smaller than seed beads. You told your husband you like listen to so many funny stories. Yeah, yeah. So I only took out one row while I was there yesterday. But one thing, and Olga found it. Mr. Hershey and I have a neighbor who's always buying treats. I tell her not to buy any more treats. But we were going by, and Olga was getting some backing. They have pre-cuts in Walmart that are pretty reasonable. And she bought two-yard pieces. No, 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 Hershey, that are 100% cotton. She's new. She's a brand new sewer. Actually, I'm doing most of the sewing. She does something for me, and we barter time. We barter time. She likes to cook. She like cooks some of her foods from. She's from Colombia, South America. She's an American citizen, but like she makes the arepas and everything by hand, and she does all kinds of stuff. The recipe that I have for for making the jalapeno poppers is actually from somebody that used to help me. And I did some quilting for her. Sometimes she's like, well, Mrs. Helen, I did this, I did that. And I'll say, well, didn't I just make you a bag when you were here 2 weeks? A little handmade bag. And then I'll say, well, that's the one I sell for X amount, whatever. But I gifted it to you. Erica Taylor says, hi, everyone. Thank you. Mona said that's amazing. So we eat some pretty good meals around here. But Olga found this piece of fabric with the dogs, and I know Deb S likes dogs. She's a pug mom. I know her. She hears me talking, and I found this little fat quarter. So I'm going to cut it up and make her a little table runner. She's already talking about what she's gotten for Hershey and myself for Easter. And I'll tell you a funny story about that and what she's getting for Mother's Day. So I usually just make something. I make all of my gifts. I'm not being cheap, but the things I make are priceless. They couldn't buy them anywhere. And I teach them how to sew. I have a video a couple of weeks ago with me in my kitchen teaching someone to hand sew. It was her. And she makes the neck bone pillows by hand. She doesn't want to sew on a sewing machine. She doesn't want to learn. She doesn't want to buy one. I saw a crazy deal for a single featherweight in a real nice area around here. Thank you, Donzel Cooper. And excuse you, Hershey. You heard me say dog. Are you now? You're a dog. So Deb asks, there's Mr. Hershey. He's a Shih Tzu. It was kind of hard to find a brown one, but I bought him in Mary Jo family. Oh my gosh, I'm going to cry. That is one of my channels that I follow in Africa. Mary Jo, look at this quilt that I just made. And it is, I was talking about some of the village, the huts that are there with the thatch roofs. Some of them are tin, and the way they're made. And I made this quilt to resemble an African hut, and I'm submitting it to an international quilt challenge with a group called Quilt Africa Fabrics. And I'm just repeating you guys because she's actually in Kenya right now. Mary Jo, welcome. Put an exclamation mark GQUAT, Mary Jo, and maybe you'll get some new followers here. I watch them. She lives in an authentic African village, and she lives in a traditional house. She actually has a couple properties. They are gardeners, and I follow her brother-in-law's channel as well. They live out in the village, and they have their own water catchment system, and I just love seeing authentic history being made. And I actually started this quilt before before I started watching their channels because, as I said, I have family in Tanzania, and over the 35, 40, 50 years that they have been there, I've gotten pictures, with the breadfruit, the the jackfruit, all the stuff. They're near Lake Victoria. They used to have fishing boats and stuff. So I ended up not doing much sewing today, but just talking to you guys about stories and some of the quilts, and then going back to the back of this quilt. This is the Adinkra symbol for those of you who just came in. The Adinkra symbol for cooperation, which is what I feel like the world needs more of now. Miss Shirley OG Gardner. Hey sis, you out late shopping? I did all my shopping yesterday. And then I went to this incredible fruit store. You should see the mangoes that I got, you guys. The cantaloupe. Of course, they're imported. I probably won't be. I'll need a cosigner to get one next month. The avocados were so expensive, but I got one of the bigger, smooth ones, sissy, like you used to have in your yard. When my sister Joanne Stevens and Uncle Roscoe lived in California, they had an avocado tree, and we'd get anywhere from 400, 800 avocados per year off this tree, the best avocados. And we would let them get tree ripened and bring them in. Just a taste that you never had. Auntie Joanne Stevens has a Meyer lemon tree and an orange, I think it's a pomelo orange tree. Oh, you just subbed. Oh, Yankee Sister just subbed to Mary Jo's channel. She is a school teacher in in Africa, in Kenya, and she has two daughters, maybe three. But I watch them every day, and even if I don't have time to leave a written word, I leave my three little purple hearts. And why? Because good friends become family, and family is everything. So, and oh, you want to hear something funny? I'll tell you a funny story about Mary Jo. So, her husband makes compost tea, and he puts all the vegetables and stuff, and they by Lisa, and they do the farming not with bulldozers and rototillers and stuff. They have the old garden hoe, and they're making the compost tea, and she was filming while he was pouring it, into the different little holes where they were planting stuff. And she had her cute little face all balled up, talking about the smell of it. We know you love her accent and beautiful smile. That's a beautiful channel she has. And they have a brother, Zach Helena, who has a channel that I watch a lot. And you see him uh, going to get water with his donkeys, and with the water strapped on the back. And they use that for some drinking water. It's pure water. Hershey, stop, because this is so interesting. I'm telling their story, but if you subscribe to their channel, you can see them directly. And now, another family member, his sister-in-law and brother, have some American subscribers and members who have helped them upgrade their property. And they have like a two-story water catchment supply holder. And it's just exciting to see people who have lived the traditional way, the way that many of us can't even imagine living, and how they make it work. It's a beautiful, beautiful story. You watch them cooking. And I was just talking about how sometimes this is upside down, they cook indoors, and they have a little chimney, tin chimney that smoke can come out, or they can cook outside. So I enjoy watching that, and that's some of my inspiration. That was some of my inspiration for this quilt. So I will physically have my quilt here, and I was just noticing I have a nice boutique around the edges. And some of these places you can see them hand dyeing them. You can see Mary Jo and her husband taking their transportation to the different villages, to the different stores, and getting the things that they need to work on their house and their gardens. So that is exciting, you guys. So I'm going to do a little bit of sewing on this while you guys are like, Mary Jo, maybe you'll get some fabrics and do some quilting with Auntie Ellen, and I can show you anything you ever wanted to know about quilting. Oh, I just want to show you this little detail in the back around the top of the hut. You see a little bit of green? I did that to make it look like there was grass sticking out from under there. So people, Mary Jo, if you put exclamation, oh, well, maybe you did, but put it again, exclamation mark GQUAT. If one of you guys would put it in the chat for her. Oh, one last funny thing about this. I was going to put, I'm glad I didn't, cowrie shells all around this whole, or at least four. It was very hard because I left the stabilizer in here. So I'm glad that I didn't, because it was hard. And I forgot where I put the rest of my cowrie shells. I have a whole bag of them because my necklace broke. I had a long 30, maybe 36-inch necklace that was double sewn. Oh, that is, I left a string up there. I pre-threaded a string so that I wouldn't have to do it. So, um, Lorraine says she just subscribed to the Marijo channel. It's really, 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 really interesting. So I have a piece of, and this is a pretty big needle. Why? Because I'm totally blind in one eye and my depth perception is off. But I'm not complaining, God. I'm just talking to my friends and my family here. And when I put a knot through both ends, It guarantees that I probably won't lose it. And I'll just cut one strand of loose and keep the knot. So this is what I'm going to do. And I've already submitted the photos of my quilt. Oh, before I do that, I want to show you something. Last Thursday, when I was looking for photos for a different exhibit that I'm going to exhibit some of my paintings, I found, oh, Mary Jo said she's funny. So when I was in Arizona, I hand drew an elephant. I love elephants, as some of you know. And I hand drew this elephant. That's actually a quilt in back of me that I will be working on soon. And it's all, oh, you can't see it. You can't see it. But I'm making a quilt, an art quilt out of that. And this is the elephant that I hand drew. And this is exactly the size that the quilt will be. That will be my next quilt. Mary Jo, can you please drop your link again by adding exclamation mark GQUAT? And then I even have, oh, that's tape. Then I took this is how I do my art quilt, you guys. Then I took some tracing paper and I traced the elephant. This is actually freezer paper. And I traced this on the back of some unbleached muslin that I used for a pattern for this original. It's an original art piece. So going back to, I had a question earlier. Psalm 146 asked about rewiring the foot. Auntie Joanne has a 1943 scroll face featherweight machine, and I was sewing on it, and it seemed like it had little sparks. It was like shocking me a little bit. So Mary Jo put her link in it. Mary Jo, Mary Jo, if you put just 1 minute, you guys, I just want to help her out because she has they have a brand new channel and they're trying to grow it. And a little help would be nice. So exclamation mark GQUAT. Now this is how I put mine. So Mary Jo, you see that exclamation mark GQUAT? Don't check out mine. Put yours in. Put yours in. Okay, so back to the chat. Well, I really enjoy her cooking and quilting. Oh, I have an idea. Maybe one day we can do a collab and you can go live on my channel, Mary Jo. They are like 8 hours ahead of us. I think Kenya and Nigeria. I actually have it in my phone because I have some friends like Quilt Africa Fabrics that are in Nigeria, and I have some family members that live in Nigeria as well. My family is international. Hey, Barb Brownlee, making your mouth water over here. I didn't cook anything live today. I'm heating up. No, I'm not going to heat it up. I took it out of the freezer, the oxtail I made for mommy. Oh, and I do have some of that zucchini bread. I saved one loaf without the nuts to take to the house because one of the family members is allergic to nuts. So they ate the one with the nuts. I gave it all away. I only had 2 slices. I had 1 slice on Saturday and 1 on Monday. So this is so interesting, you guys. So let me show you how. No, I didn't drop my needle. No, here it is. I have it. I have it. And I'm going to sew a little bit, a little bit, a little bit. Oh, and by the way, Mary Jo is off grid. So that she does things the traditional off grid way. So I'm going to cut the knot loose. Finally, this thing would have been so lost by now. You see these little embroidery scissors, you guys? These embroidery scissors are about 60 years old, 60. 60. For those of you who don't know, oh, I won't talk about that. I am an elder, though. That's all I will say. So I will do a little sewing live for you guys to show you how I'm going to do that. Before, so the Mary Jo channel PIA, I don't know why you can't find it, but you can. Oh, I know. I will link her because I'm a subscriber on her channel. At the end of this video, I will put at and put her name in, and then you can click on it and find her channel and her brother-in-law's channel and her sister-in-law's channel, and I will do that for you guys. So don't worry your pretty little faces about that. Okay, I'm going to put this, you won't be able to see my face for a minute. So what I'm going to do is I like to put a little bit of glue underneath my labels. So I have a glue stick, just a glue stick. You can put heat and bond, you can put any type of stabilizer. And just so that you can see, this is the Adinkra symbol for cooperation. I had printed it on the back of here. Why? Because I have CRS and I can't remember stuff. So I'm going to put a little bit of glue around here, or maybe a lot. Just a little to help keep it from puckering. You don't have to do this with a regular label, but this one is pretty heavy. I just found a string I didn't cut before. So I'm just putting, I'm not, so I'm not putting any glue near the tip because I don't want the needle to be hard to go through there when I'm hand sewing. So, of course, it's not a live stream unless I drop something. So I'm pressing this down a little, and I will start sewing. Hold on, you guys. Let me see if I'm missing anything. Oh, thank you, Mike. He posted Mary Jo's channel, you guys. Oh, that is so cool. You know what I always say, you guys? Good friends. Sorry, pushing things. That's because I don't have a mouse. I'm trying to use these fingers to get in between tiny spaces. So, Mary Jo, welcome to your family in the United States. Auntie Ellen's family. Why? Because good friends become family. and family is everything. And I'm sure you guys will enjoy watching them and supporting their channel and supporting some of their efforts. If you're wondering why there's no quilting showing on the back, I have quilted in between, uh, machine quilted between every piece of fabric. But what I did was quilted to the batting. I knew this would be a lot, and I didn't want it to be a mess on the back. So I put this piece under there. But there's a lot of quilting, a lot of machine quilting in this entire piece. So I'm turning it over. You subbed as well, and will. Oh, Mary Jo says they appreciate that. That is cute. Mike, I do have a wireless mouse. Are you kidding me? I have wireless everything. I have the Mac mouse over there. But where am I going to put it? The MacBook is on a stool and there's nothing around it. The stool is the size of the MacBook. And so I just use the mouse pad. I have that little fancy Apple mouse. Oh, we knew what you meant. We speak what do you call it? Spell check around here. So you have some new family members. Oh, you mean get up and get the mouse, Mike? It's over there, over by Hershey. All the fancy stuff. I have a pen, an Apple pen over there, so that I can write on my Apple pad. I ain't got but two hands, Mike. I'm an elder. You got to cut me a break, you guys. Okay, so. Oh, you use your leg to run the mouse? Well, when you get 77 years old, Mike, we'll see what you're doing. We'll see what you're working with, son. I plan to still be around, by the way, because I've decided I'm going to live till 101. So I'm going to put this down a little bit so that you can see my lap. Mona was sewing by hand all afternoon. So I'm just going to go under a little edge of here. I've already sewn the roof. I've already sewn the roof to the bottom of the hut. So I'm just going to stick this under and almost like an applique stitch, just catch a little piece of it. Mind you, nobody will ever see this. Ugh. Nobody will ever see this because it's the back of a quilt. But they have the people at the quilt shows that are sitting there with the little white gloves on, because people like you and me that want to see the back and see what it's doing, especially since Auntie Ellen told you what happens on the back of some of these quilts, you will be wanting to see it. But you're not allowed to touch the quilts at the quilt shows. You are they have a little like line, a little buoy thing, so that to keep you from getting too close and touching it, because the oils from your fingers, whatever germs you have on it, whatever you were eating while you were walking along the show. Now see, I've got it through a little bit too many layers. That's when I use my, and it's not on the correct finger, but this is the finger I use it on. Yankee Sister says you have a precious family, Mary Jo. Maybe one day I will get to Kenya. Maybe one day. I don't know. The way things are, I'm not feeling like I want to do much travel. The way things are in the world. We'll travel through space by use of YouTube And I will invite Mary Jo and maybe some of her family members to come up and do a collab and go live together. That would be fun. We just have to work out the time. So, you guys, this is the quilt. We've talked about how to make a label, and I don't want to hold you all night. So, I think I will end this for now. I've already submitted this to the contest. Mary Jo Family says, Yankee Sister, we appreciate that and thank you. And yeah. Well, I enjoyed this tonight, you guys. Something different. Deb S., the pug quilter, pug mama quilter. She loves her baby as much as we love you. As much as we love you. You are always welcome. A good place to be, Auntie. Thank you. I try to treat people like they're my family, genuinely and truly. And I do this. You guys have become my family. And as a matter of fact, some of you have become friends enough that when you're close by, like Yankee's sister, she went to church with some of my family members for years. She lives in a different town in Connecticut. And Lemon Mandazi, oh, and Lorraine T, others we've met through the medium of YouTube, and we've become like family. We really, really, truly care about each other. And don't forget to hit the thumbs up, those of you who are visiting. And thank you, Katie. And now it's time to say goodbye to all our lovely friends in American Sign Language. This is an I, this is an L, this is a you. This is how to say I love you. And hold on, maybe I can get my outro work.